Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Clarity Monthly Product Webinar. Michelle Anton here, Brand Ambassador for Clarity. And today we have an amazing lineup with a product review for our new products, QSPA and RESON8. And the host of our monthly product webinar is Chris Neville, Vice President of Product Development for Clarity, a cutting-edge bioenergetic wellness company. And joining us is Clarity founder Robin Hoffman Haack. Robin comes from a family of entrepreneurs and world-class surfers. She's an entrepreneur with a heart of gold and has been a highly successful six-figure earner in network marketing. And I want to fill you in a little bit about our host, Chris Neville. He has more than 25 years experience developing nutritional products, and he's the mastermind behind Clarity's flagship nutritional drink, Calibrate. Chris's company, Biophotonics Innovations, is involved with ongoing research and product development focused on the latest scientific findings for longevity and regeneration, along with supporting the emergence of green energy technologies. Hey, Chris, I want to turn the webinar over to you. I'm so excited to hear about the product review and how it can help so many of us.
Thanks very much, Michelle, and welcome everybody. It's always great to tune in, and certainly this past weekend has been, hugely exciting to be able to meet so many new faces, and also to share a couple of new wonderful offerings from Clarity. Let me just give you a little bit of backdrop to the reason and the rationale behind things. And when we look at the world today, it's quite different, not just environmentally, but also with how business and society operates. We're just surrounded by, electromagnetic fields and new devices and technology that can and has been implicated in a range of other very, very foundational challenges as far as health and well-being is concerned, whether it be the EMFs from other fields, but we develop these products as a way of being able to do several things. One is to recharge the body at a cellular level, but also more importantly is to mitigate some of the effects from these man-made frequencies as well. And it comes down to one word, and that's stress. That these invisible forces, these invisible fields, have an incredible impact on the body and add to the burden through stress and ultimately leading to, on the biochemical level, oxidative stress and inflammation. So we're really excited to share with you the first product, and that is RESON8. RESON8, what does RESON8 mean? RESON8 is obviously simply being in harmony or in alignment with, and we refer to that as being the field or the source energy. And we're going to cover what that actually means throughout the presentation. When we think of the universe, when we think of our body and our health, the universe doesn't speak English. It actually speaks frequency. So our cells don't speak German, they don't speak English, they don't speak French. They actually speak frequency. There is a biochemical element to it, of course, but overriding that and governing that is actually an energetic field. And that's what we want to share a little bit about today, and what that means as far as getting well, staying well is concerned, and being in optimal health. The hidden world in which we live or are subject to, when we think of power lines, PowerPoints, Wi-Fi's and microwaves, TV screens, right the way through to radiation from let's call it energy fallout from Fukushima as an example, but there's also right the way down to our cell phones as well. When you look at the electromagnetic spectrum, there's a very, very small band of visible light, and we know that as being obviously colors of the rainbow, but everything that we can perceive with our eyes is a very, very limited bandwidth of what's really going on. In fact, when you look at cell phones and devices right the way through to microwaves, X-rays, gamma rays, etc. If we can actually see that, we would be completely not able to see our toes. And the increase in our day-to-day life is really never ever been researched on a device or on a single appliance. May have a certain amount of data, but when you add all of those things together, cumulative as your own technology in your own space, then you combine it with the neighborhood and then industrial inclusion, we really have a challenge that is not being spoken about. And I believe that in 10 years' time, we will have the same repercussions as what the tobacco industry had. And that is a major change in the way that things are innovated and developed, so they are not harming passively or directly the human body. The toroidal field is something that's going to be second nature to you. When you think in terms of a toroidal field, all it is like a donut. And there's an energy pattern that exists through the universe right the way down to the quantum level. And this toroidal field looks like a donut, but rather than it just being static in the image here, think of it as the Earth is also rotating, or the field is also rotating. So what you have is this outward flow from the top and then spiraling down and then back up through the base as well. These magnetic fields we know of on a planet, but on a quantum and subatomic level, this is also an energy pattern that exists throughout all time and space as well, from a micro to a macro level. And what happens is that within the body, if we go to the next slide, please. When we look at the body, we also have this energy field in and around the body. It's been well documented and researched. In fact, even the ancients referred to this bioplasmic field or the bioenergetic field through even traditional Chinese medicine, where we understood the flow of qi and ki, or prana and life force. And it's very well researched today and is being looked at even more so than ever before, about having this harmonious field as being a way of being able to stay well and get well. What the RESON8 does, is simple, beautiful, portable medallion, is that it actually helps fortify this field. And when we say it fortifies the field, it's a bit like a cocoon and forms like a bubble around the body of about a 5-foot radius. And what that does is that it helps keep you strong in the presence of any disruptive energies. And this is really very exciting. This quantum charge medallion has a tremendous benefit of being able to keep you balanced and also at peace within these disruptive fields. So the RESON8 is a portable device that you can carry in your pocket. You can wear it as a necklace, place it under your pillow for enhanced sleep, but you can also use it with food and water, and also for pain, where you can place it actually on the affected area as well. And it's really funny this morning, staying and visiting my daughter and granddaughter, where she's only 3.5, and she just found the medallion next to my pillow this morning, and she picks it up, and she's just rubbing it on my wife and just said, this will make you feel better. And this is just the intuition of a 3.5-year-old granddaughter, who just picks this medallion up. And it was quite amazing. We just looked at each other and went, wow, how pure is that? The RESON8, as we mentioned, is a portable accessory. It's something that doesn't require batteries. You can use it in a range of different areas. It's something that I think you have with you 24/7, because you can use it as you sleep, certainly underneath your pillow, but there's also configuration where you can have multiple RESON8s, where you can put it on the corner of your mattress, underneath your mattress, and one in the center. And now what you have is this cocoonal bubble as you sleep in this, 6, 8, 9 hours, whatever time length that your body requires to rest and recover. But we also have the beauty of being able to use it within the fridge, you'll actually find that in the fridge or even on your kitchen bench where you may have fruit in a bowl, is it will actually help preserve the integrity so it doesn't actually deteriorate nearly as quickly. And you can observe this just by a simple experiment by having, a couple of bananas or an apple and just put one near a RESON8 for 5 or 7 days, and then you'll also see the ones that are not, and you'll actually see the rapid decay of those that aren't within the field. And it's a really simple way of being able to recognize that this field helps maintain order of all life force within its presence. Improves your sleep, obviously critically important for maintaining function throughout a day, but also just purely energy as a reference point throughout your day as well. And for those who spend time in meditation or in prayer, this will help also engage just a deeper state of being or tapping into that space that you would regard to as being your little sacred space. The applications, as we mentioned, water, simply put it with a glass of water. In fact, it works perfectly fine with wine if you're that way inclined, juices, etc. So it's really a fabulous way of being able to enhance the field of that. And simple little way of being able to test it is you can actually do a before and after, where you taste the juice before and then you charge it and taste it afterwards, and you may notice that there's a slight subtlety in the fact that it doesn't have as peaky or a sharper note within that as well. So it's a great way to play with it. We mentioned about food in the fridge, skincare, a couple of cucumbers, you can remove them and actually just put the RESON8s, and it just helps with rejuvenation and regeneration. Certainly the eyes are just an example as well. Necklace, different ways of being able to wear it as a fashion piece, or some people with a little leather tie or a cord tie, or in fact even a beautiful scarf that was just lace that was tied around it, and you can wear it as a fashion piece. For some, putting it in your pocket's perfectly okay, and as we can see there, an application was placing it on an area of pain. What it's doing, it's restoring harmony and coherence to that area, so it'll actually accelerate this experience of reorder. One of the next things that we introduced was just an exciting innovation and a collaboration with a couple of incredible teams, one here in Australia and certainly another one in the US as well. And this was the introduction of QSPA. And the QSPA works perfectly with the medallion. And if you think of the QSPA and medallion relationship, it's a bit like this field, and then having the RESON8 as being the medallion that is your SIM card. It's your communication with this field as well. And the development of the QSPA was for several specific reasons. One is, when we think of breathing, most people take that for granted, but in actual fact, when we're undergoing periods of stress or anxiety or otherwise, our breathing pattern changes, and it can change quite dramatically. And this also affects a range of different things that happen in the body, not just our brainwave frequencies and patterns, but also functionally, that our organs may be inhibited from functioning at their best as well. So QSPA was developed not just for stress as a mental and emotional experience and providing other fields in which to optimize our way to experience life, but also right down to the functional level at the organ and systemic level of the body as well. And we had some fabulous research and findings that Dr. Luber was able to provide for us at the event as well. So when we think of the QSPA, we regard it as being a neuroacoustic sound wave or smart sound program. And what it's doing is, we think in terms of modern stress. And you see the little image of, some of you may be familiar with the Rubik's Cube that was around in many days past, but certainly as a novel brain teasing device. From this puzzle that was absolutely scrambled, we had to try to find the solution of bringing all the colors on one side, or trying to find a solution to all the confusion in the pattern. So this little imbalanced image on the right is so beautiful in as much as it represents much of what happens in our life, where we have so much data and information overwhelm happening today, that what we're recognizing from a health perspective is disease is actually central, or dis-ease is actually central to our experience of health and well-being. And dis-ease can actually form the underlying foundations of chronic inflammation and ultimately stress, leading to oxidative stress as well. And you think in terms of social media today, I mean, goodness, how could we possibly go by without our cell phone and tapping it every single day? It's quite an addiction that many people are actually experiencing, because there's a subtle field that our cell phones emit as well that can actually interfere with us. And you look at kids today, where their self-esteem is being ripped apart because of their need to fit in, and social media has a lot of positives, but it also has some negatives that we need to somehow balance out as well. Within the workplace, certainly other areas for veterans as well, and even people who have experienced severe trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder is something that affects us on an ongoing basis, not just as individuals, but also the family unit, and potentially even the work environment and the community at large. It can be very, very disruptive. And, you know, one of the darker sides of society as well is also domestic violence and how that plays out. So when we have mental and emotional harmony, there is a different way that we exist in the world, not just as personalities, but also physically and as far as our health is concerned as well. And these are the things that are really pivotal in the benefits of QSPA. This comes back to the healthy cell model. I won't go through the detail of this, because some of you have seen this in the Clarity Calibrate presentation. But when we talk just briefly that we refer to all conditions, when we think that there's not 1,000 diseases, there's really only one condition that we refer to, and that is a malfunctioning cell. And that malfunctioning cell has either a deficiency or it has toxicity. So there's really only two causes to the malfunctioning cell, and then underlying that being the 6 pathways from medical toxin, nutrition, psychological, genetic, and physical. And the relationship to QSPA is the psychological. Why? Because we say regularly that it's not what you eat, but sometimes what's eating you. And this is a relationship of the psychological or the mental or emotional aspect of our health and well-being. SmartSound, which is the part of the technology that actually drives the QSPA. It's a Class 1 medical device, actually just recently been qualified and cleared as being a Class 1 medical device, because it has a very specific benefit to the overall wellness of an individual. It contains a full spectrum of natural brainwave frequencies, including the alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and the theta waves that we're familiar with. But there is also a clinical entrainment protocol that is built into the program as well. It's not some simplistic binaural beat, but there's a very specific way that the brain is actually entrained into a given state. And this is really important because there's rhythmic pulse technologies that are combined, and many, many other technologies that have been merged together and as almost like a hybrid, if you will, way of being able to bring the best of each of those elements together in one single place, and then further enhanced with our Q set, which is super exciting. So in today's lifestyle, the return to a peaceful mind-body way of being has become difficult to achieve and maintain. It is so important for us to relearn or retrain our brains to get back to higher levels of alpha. And that's just one of the comments there by Dave Seaver. On the right-hand side, you'll see the EEG. The technology has been measured with neuropsychologists using the EEG as one of the devices, and certainly with Dr. Luber, her device is even far more sophisticated in what it is able to read, but you can see different activity of the brain through this technology and different regions of the brain where it's not just the activity levels and the brainwave patterns that are emerging, but it's also the interrelationships on what's referred to as the left-right brain, or even more detailed is the complex cross-hemispheric auditory stimulation, where there's a different input from the left brain to the right brain, and then how that works to help stabilize and balance and harmonize the brain, because during areas of high learning, we'll have more of a left brain function, and high levels of creativity will be more of a right brain function. And sometimes that balance can be thrown out and cause a range of different issues for us on a day-to-day basis, which play back as some form of stress. As we mentioned, the brainwave patterns, without going too detailed in it, there's gamma and hypergamma. They operate and act at different frequencies, right? And there are certain states of super alert that you want to have, particularly if you're about to compete or you're on this, watch mode as well. Then you have the beta frequencies and the sensory motor rhythms right the way to alpha. You'll find that in some states of given states of a day where you wake up first thing in the morning, as an example, and you're kind of awake and you're semi-alert, but you're also still receptive. And it's a bit like if you hear that song first thing in the morning, it stays with you throughout the day. There are very important states of mind that you can adopt and make work for you more effectively, where you're perhaps studying and learning or want to recall things, or just be in a state of complete awareness of your surrounds. Then there's theta and delta and subdelta, particularly when you talk of REM and deep sleep mode as well for rejuvenative sleep. As we mentioned, the EEG validation was a really important aspect of the research. But what we have is that even with some of the other research that some doctors like Eric Braverman states, that the brainwave symbolizes various dimensions of our consciousness. So it's not just about our awakened state, it's also about our other aspects of our beings, where we can transcend and become more at peace with the greater universe. Getting a bit trippy, but it's definitely, we know that in our meditation or prayer states that there's an elevated way of feeling more connected with each other, but also with the greater universe as well. The suites are just absolutely fantastic, really easy to access. So what we have is an app that we're hoping within the next couple of days, by the end of the week, that you'll be able to go and download on your iPhone or your Android and have access to it. And this app, you'll be able to go into your back office through your normal website, and through accessing the QSPA, you'll be able to subscribe, and that subscription will give you access 24/7 to a range of different suites. Now, these suites have been designed specifically to affect different aspects of our beings. As an example, you'll see you can choose your state of mind, like Accelerate, which is for peak performance. And you'll see that there's an overview of Accelerate. These sessions use a range of stimulation-based sound technology processes that may assist with general cognitive performance and function, auditory processing, and more. Accelerate is ideal as a gentle but effective workout for busy professionals, students, or anyone interested in enhanced neurological performance and brain fitness. Now, there's an Accelerate 1 and an Accelerate 2, and the reason for that is sometimes we've only got a short, call it a nano moment, a bit like a nano nap, where you can just take that moment, and a short play of maybe 9 to 12 minutes will just give you that recharge that you're looking for. And then there's a longer play, which is your 22 minutes plus, which just gives you up to 30 minutes an opportunity of being able to immerse yourself in a deeper state as well. Then we have Liberate, and this is really exciting because this is for distress and moods. And this is a incredibly powerful suite that's been designed to address just that and being able to help calm some of these overactive frequencies of the brain. Then we have Juvenate. Sleep is absolutely imperative. And most people today are not getting the kind of deep quality sleep that they need. And Juvenate is exactly what is necessary. In fact, Juvenate plays as a minimum length is 1 hour. So it's something that you can enjoy, and it only has a single track rather than the short play and long play. And you'll find that it will help the brain start to prepare for sleep and then go into this state of deep rest, you know, far more profoundly than perhaps you've ever experienced before. Then we have Meditate, where you can zen out and just really enjoy some deep time with yourself. Vigorate is a really powerful suite for the baby boomers and particularly the elderly as well, because it'll actually recharge this core energy of the brain that's necessary as well. So let's say supporting all of the mental faculties, and it's a great all-rounder, but it's also very specific. We feel that the elderly and certainly the baby boomers will notice that far more effectively as well. So then we have the Elevate, again with the moods, and we have Brain Spa. Now, Brain Spa is something that we use within the clinical test. And so what you'll find is that that's available to everybody, and it's a great sampler that you can help share with your friends and family or coaches or just people who are into performance, or they've got a particular challenge as well. And it was super exciting from a clinical research perspective, because not only had it already been researched, but when we infused these soundscapes and these holophonic soundscapes with our QSET, this bioscalar technology, what we're able to do is to see deeper into the realm of health and well-being, not just from a brain function, right the way down to the cell, the oxygen pressure at a cell membrane level, and right the way through to mitochondria function. Now, Dr. Lube was just astounded by the results, to say the least, and it's not always easy to have a Russian scientist get too exuberant, but Robin and I had an opportunity of being on the conference call where she was really trying to distill over the 350-something different parameters and biomarkers that she was able to measure and monitor throughout some of the testing. But it was really exciting because we're able to see that long-term use of the audio programs was not just about having a state of mind on a day-to-day basis, but it was truly recharging the cellular battery. And that's really one of the things we wanted to identify as being an actuality, and that is the case. So the app also has several functions, and that is that you have an ability to be able to upload your image. And the reason why you do that, you can take a photograph and then upload it through your computer, and then you'll find that when you open up your app, it's actually in what we refer to as the bioscalar chamber, or it gives you an opportunity of being able to experience a bioscalar shower 24/7. In the bioscalar world of quantum physics, there is no distance between you and a chamber anywhere on the planet. It's an instantaneous experience. What it allows to do is this, it's almost like holographically, is that a small part, let's call it a photograph, or even a photograph of your arm for that matter, contains the whole. So think of when you were conceived, you had a single cell that became your total being. Well, that blueprint exists in every cell of the body, not just in your whole body, but in every cell of the body. And that blueprint does have a signature. And in this advanced world, all we're doing is we're being able to use it in a fun way of being able to enhance your body by a quantum charge. This is what we refer to as a bioscalar shower. So it's an amazing opportunity of being able to upload your picture, yours and your partners, or your whole family, including Fluffy the cat and Fido the dog, or otherwise. And it's really a great opportunity of being able to have everybody benefit 24/7 by this gentle bioscalar shower as well. Again, here we have just the experience of it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You could be in Spain, you could be in Australia, you could be in New York, it doesn't matter. It doesn't recognize distance. As Dr. Sandra indicated, scalar energy moves at 1.4 times the speed of light, so this is not something that is going to limit you in terms of its overall benefit. So it's very exciting. It says if you can control your brain activity, you can control your life and your experiences in life. And that's from Dr. James Haack, who's a neurological researcher. An important aspect that we mentioned at the conference was the gut-brain connection, or the gut-brain axis. And each of the scientists that were there also had the same appreciation and understanding, is that we call it the second brain in the gut, but it's also an important physiological aspect as well. So when you have an imbalanced gut, you can have mental and emotional disturbance. And this is really critical to understand that the microbes manufacture up to 90% of our brain's most important chemicals, known as neurotransmitters, and that occurs within the gastrointestinal tract. So it makes sense from a health and well-being perspective to keep this aspect of our body in optimal function. And we tend to notice that when we have this in function, we just feel a little clearer. And one of the comments we have for our Calibrate product, and particularly the Calibrate Kids, is that after a couple of days, we just seem to feel a little clearer in our thoughts and in our mind, and this is the reason. And it's a critical importance because of the relationship between neurotransmitter production and ultimately our brain and sense of well-being as well. As we say, music without words is like leaving the mind behind. And leaving the mind behind is meditation. Meditation returns you to the source, and the source of all is sound. And this is one of the important aspects of our program, is that it is not reliant on language to try to guide you to a certain state of being. The sound frequencies of work in the US, Australia, in India, or in Hong Kong, the same way anywhere around the world, in terms of influencing and supporting the brainwave patterning and our experience of well-being. It's not a guided meditation, and it's unlike anything you've experienced before. The feedback we're having to date is nothing short of exciting, and I believe that this is going to be one of the most profound offerings as a non-invasive, supportive health protocol that Clarity has brought out today. And I just invite each of you to listen to the Brain Spa, enjoy it, and subscribe to the QSPA audio suites and make it part of your day. Even if it's a 9-minute short play, use it. When you've got the times, make use of that as well. Children that are using it today as well are just having quite amazing responses. And I'd like to invite the Clarity CEO and founder, Robin Hoffman, Haack, back to the call so we can just share with you what's the simple way that we can distill all of this information and just share it readily with everybody. So that's one of the things that we wanted to cover off just before wrapping up on the call. So Robin, welcome back to the call.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you, thank you. And wow, that's lots of information. I know everybody's probably like on overload, but it's so exciting, you know. And I know from the conference just how excited everyone was, and the feedback we're getting from these products is just fantastic. And people are already seeing results from the medallion, and people loving the QSPA and enrolling with the QSPA so they can use it monthly. But I know people always have the question on how do I talk about it and how do I share it? And like I just had somebody that I've known for years just walk up to me and see my necklace, and I have the medallion on. And she's like, wow, that's cool. What is that? Is that jade? And I said, yeah, it is. It's white jade. And I said, but what's really special, it's infused with this technology. And so it puts like a cocoon around me. So I'm nullified from all the, bad stuff in our environment these days with all the Wi-Fi and so forth. And so that was just something that just came out of me. And I think you just really have to simplify it, and like putting a cocoon around you, and it keeps you strong and it keeps you grounded. It brings you back into, your body into coherence. So I don't know if any of you want to write those notes down, but that's pretty how you want to simplify the medallion. And then what I'm super excited about is how Chris talked about how you can upload your photo into the app. And so you're basically have a scalar shower, and scalar energy is, like you said, moves at 1.4 times the speed of light. It's what is in our world. Like I was just with my dad and I was explaining it to him, and I'm like, Dad, this is our world, is scalar energy, and it turns on your cells. It's like plugging your body into a light switch, and it gives your cells the electricity, conductivity that they need, and to keep you healthy. And so when you upload your photo into that app, it's like Chris said, finding you anywhere in the world, but it really helps when you have the RESON8. It's like a beacon. And so, I said to somebody this morning, I'm talking on my cell phone and you're all the way across California and I'm in Orange County, and your cell phone found me. How did it find me? It just found me. And that's exactly how this scalar energy works. And when your picture is in the QSPA shower. And so, and then as far as QSPA and the listening to these amazing neuroacoustic short plays and long plays, I've been listening to them for quite a while now, and I just love them. And at night, it's just so relaxing, and I just fall straight asleep. But how I just say is that it really puts your brain back into focus, and it puts your brain to where it needs to eliminate the stress, because like Chris showed you, stress and your gut are totally related. And if you can get your brain right and your gut right, your whole body will be in harmony. And so I think it's really important to let people know that it's, people will say, there's other apps on the website and this and that you can go listen to. It's nothing like ours. Yes, there's paraliminals and there are binaural beats and there's all these meditation. And I've done all sorts of guided meditations online, and I've paid for them as well. But this is very, very different because it's a technology and a holophonic soundscape infused with the scalar energy. So it's not only getting the brain and the neural pathways and bringing them into alignment and focus, it's like a gym for the brain. Like you think people go work out and they, exercise their body and their muscles, but who's exercising their brain? And so I love the fact that it's a gym for your brain. And infused with these fantastic technologies, it's a Class 1 medical device by the TAAI in Australia. And so it's really getting to the neural pathways, but then it's even getting at a whole other level with the scalar energy, because it's getting the scalar energy. It not only works on the brain, but it's your health, and the brain and the gut, like I said, go hand in hand. And this gets to the DNA, your cells, your mitochondria, and the telomeres. And so it really helps also with your chakras. And our testing even showed that it really helps with the root chakra and all the chakras. But Dr. Luba really noticed the root chakra, which is really important. So those are just, I hope that helped a little bit on some things you can say for, sharing it with somebody. And, listen to the replay of this and take notes and get that, to where you can present it in a simple manner, and then have them listen to the samples we have. So anyway, thank you for having me on the call, Chris, and back to you.
Pleasure. Look, great comment there, Robin, and as far as the brain gym is concerned, and that's probably as simple as you need to have. You can work out your arms and your legs and your abs and all of those great things, but how do you actually work out your brain in a functional, meaningful way? And each of these suites have a way of being able to be isolated and unified to work out your brain. And as Robin said, it's not just about the brain, it's right the way down to our DNA. In fact, Dr. Glenn Ryan, who is one of our guest speakers at the event, said that that was some of the testing that he found with bioscalar, is it actually improved conductivity, electrical conductivity, or bioelectric conductivity, right the way down to the DNA. That's profound. I mean, there are so many compartments of wow contained within QSPA. It's quite overwhelming, but the simple aspect, as Robin said, is, you know what, here's the RESON8. It provides a way to fortify your body from disruptive energies. Simple. Charge your food, recharge your water, and wear it, put it in your pocket. So it's a great portable device and tool for wellness and fashion for those who want to wear it. And for
I got to say one last
go
thing,
ahead.
Chris, on the RESON8, which it mentioned on the one slide, for your pet. You know, your pet's being affected by our environment on a daily basis. And like I showed horses forever, and I would think if I had a horse now, I would braid it into its mane, you know, and have the RESON8 on it. And like for your pets, you can put a RESON8 in their water bowl, and it totally will restructure the water. I put my shaker cup with my Calibrate when I'm drinking that on top of a RESON8 when, you know, it's sitting there on the table. So anyway, all sorts of ways to use the RESON8. Back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point, Robin. And certainly have some fun with it too. Simple little play exercises you can have is get some sprouts and, you know, energize some water for sprouts, and then have some other sprouts that aren't. Just watch the difference over 3-5 days, and you go, wow, life force begets life and harmony. And so this is just sort of simple ways to play with it, but keep it simple with sharing with people. You can use it on a day-to-day basis, and people are going to you know, make comment or otherwise like, wow, what's that? It's fashion and function all in one. And that we're going to have some other stories that'll come back with people using it in novel ways, but keep it simple. You know, it's a practical, sophisticated technology that you can use on a daily basis. And for the QSPA, definitely on a daily basis, it's going to just add so much, I think, add quality to your life and those around you as well. You know, maybe becoming a more pleasant human being, which would be nice for some. So,
I gotta say a couple things. Just with the RESON8, I've already heard a couple testimonials. One fellow said that his pain in his knees went away last night on the call. One of the speakers on the call last night said she had tooth, what's it called when they take out your tooth? What's that word? I can't think of it.
Extraction.
Yeah, obstructed. And so she was supposed to be on pain meds and everything, and she didn't want the pain meds because she knew she was going to be speaking on the call, and so she told the doctor no way, and she put the RESON8 on her tooth and no pain whatsoever, and she slept through the night, no pain. So pretty cool.
All right, guys. Well, listen, that's probably a wrap for right now, and really appreciate you taking the time. We're looking forward to actually having Dr. Max Hicks and Ken Grimer on our call in the near future as well, to explain a little bit more about some of the research behind the actual sounds and the audio itself as well. So it's been a great opportunity for them to learn about bioscalar and vice versa. So it's been one of those things that is a joy to innovate something and for it to show up in clinically profound ways that truly are noticeable within the body and right the way down to cellular function. So have fun and enjoy, you know, the RESON8 and the QSPA on a daily basis, and sharing it with your friends. Have a great evening. Have a great afternoon, whatever time that may be when you're listening to the call. Appreciate it. Back to you, Bernie.
Good night, everyone. Thanks.
Good night, everyone.